Hi, welcome to N. Garcia Properties Real Estate Blog. I'm Carlos Garcia in Washington, D.C. at N. Garcia Properties at Keller Williams. We're D.C.'s #1 brokerage office for transactions closed 2 years in a row, and N. Garcia is the top team. I'm here to talk about something that's very much on our minds inside the Beltway here in D.C., which is what's the impact going to be of sequestration? I guess people are talking about it in many regards. Of course, our focus is with regard to real estate, and I want to point out an article that came out in January, actually, perhaps in anticipation of this kind of conversation, in the New York Times, a piece by Annie Lowrey, and it's yet another press piece that talks about Washington's movement during the downturn economically, its increase in its job base and in the young demographic of professionals that's been streaming into Washington during the downturn, and then also sort of looking ahead, trying to figure out whether Washington is well-rounded enough as a local economy and well-insulated enough to withstand the downturn. Make sure to look it up. It was in the New York Times Sunday magazine, and the author again, or writer again, is Annie Lowrey. So one of the things that she says is that Washington bloomed as the rest of the country withered. Since 2007, our regional economy has expanded 3 times as much as the overall country's economies, and now we have one of the 3 highest income counties. We have 3 of the highest top 10 income counties in the country. A couple of other things that stood out. It is true that about 40% of our local economy is tied to federal spending. So said Stephen Fuller, one of the local economists here in D.C. And finally, there's a lot of, this article is chock full of information. It's really hard to explain it in 3 minutes, but a couple of the other concepts that came out is that perhaps, and this was a real estate guy, Jim Abdo, who said this, we're actually able to withstand the downturn. He suggested that any change in federal spending might result in a little bit of a softening of the market, but certainly not a crash. Well, I've spent enough time recently talking about all of the inventory problems we're having here in Washington, D.C., our metro area, whether you're talking about Virginia, Maryland, or D.C. We don't have enough inventory. And I can tell you now, in many of our local counties and in the city, we're looking at 2 straight years of 25 or 35% declines in inventory. So we're talking about a situation where only, say, 24, 36 months ago, we had twice as much available housing stock as we've got at the moment. That's a real material change. My perception is, and it's very early to make predictions, and I lack a crystal ball, no doubt, but my sense is that the actual problem is the lack of inventory, and that items or issues like sequestration or other bumps in the road economically might have a cooling effect in terms of buyer demand that won't be so unhealthy, given the fact that right now things are a little bit out of whack. And what we're looking for as real estate professionals is a nice balanced market. Thanks. Please make sure to come back to us at our real estate blog. Again, I'm Carlos Garcia at N. Garcia Properties at Keller Williams, the #1 team in the region for the #1 office in D.C. And recently we were reported the top brand in the country, Keller Williams, based on agent count. Cheers.